presentation.
Hey there, welcome to a very special episode of No Flicks Given. My name is Peter. With me today is Frank.
Hey everybody.
And Frank, we've got some special guests today. We're doing something a little out of the ordinary. There are 4 people on this episode, but Matt and Connor are not here.
No, we have intruders in the house.
And intruders in the house. From the Mastering McConaughey Podcast.
Yes, we have the hosts of Mastering McConaughey. We have Mark and Johnny coming here.
Yeah.
Kind of a collab. Guys, welcome to No Flicks Given.
Thank you. We're sorry that we killed Matt and Connor. It was a gruesome death, but
Yes.
we're taking over now. So
They died
To be
with honor.
fair,
Yeah.
Peter and I have been looking to trade up for a while, and they have been. Look, I don't want to be mean. They've been running on fumes since like pre-pandemic, so I think this is a long time coming.
Like we had our starter hosts, and now we've upgraded here, so it's great.
We're like the second wives. I love it.
Exactly.
So
Younger,
before
prettier.
we get into
It's great.
Yeah. Before we get into what we're going to cover today, tell us a little bit about Master McConaughey. What are you guys doing with your lives?
Well, not a whole lot, but Mark, talk to us about McConaughey.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, we are friends of 20 plus years at this point. We're both working professionals. We live a couple hours apart, and we needed a way to kind of stay connected, so we decided to start a podcast.
Love it.
The way that I remember it is we were in Johnny's house going, what? We used to do a lot of weird projects. Like
One
day in college, we drove up to the casino, the Cherokee Casino, 3.5 hours away or whatever. And on the way back home, we started talking about starting a blue crab farm.
Nice.
That's what we would always do, is just come up with weird, fun little projects.
And don't think for a second we didn't actually do it, because we did. All right.
Okay. That was my follow-up for sure. Do you have a website? Can I order direct? Is it on Grubhub? What do I do?
Dude, man, I don't know where to start, brother. So I did a lot of research about this because we were in it. We were ready for that project. And I did find this one paper that referenced the fact that blue crabs, when confined, can be cannibalistic. All right. And I was like,
Okay.
fuck that. I'm not going to listen to that. Whatever. So we go and catch the blue crabs. We build this cascading waterfall of like kiddie pools and like coral. These things are going to be happy, man. It's going to be where they're going to come. They're going to propagate, right? They're going to do it the crab way and have billions of crabs.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
No, they just fucking tore each other's limbs off and ate them. That's what they did.
This story combined with your accent makes me feel like this is beyond the reach of the government. Like, I feel like it's not. Also, Johnny, what are you drinking? That's the bluest drink I've ever seen in
Is
my
that
life.
hypnotic? Tell me it's hypnotic.
Okay, it's not hypnotic.
Oh.
It looks like Romulan ale.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so
I literally own a Star Trek Spirit that is blue, but anyway.
Oh,
sorry.
I got it in the other room. Matt,
I was about to say-
who's not here, is the biggest Trekkie I know in my entire life, and he bought me Romulan ale a couple years ago. Still on my shelf.
So part of our show is we always have a themed drink, right? And so I'm at home and I'm like, what on earth can I find that's going to go with the film that we're going to talk about, right? And so I find something. I do a lot of research, and I finally found I'm going to go with Sex in the Driveway. All right? I'm going to
Nice.
go make me a Sex in the Driveway, which I didn't have everything I needed. So I just poured a bunch of vodka and a bunch of Malibu rum and some blue food coloring in a bottle.
Nice.
You know,
You have,
that doesn't sound terrible.
No, but you basically made it like a pint, like a little jungle juice glass right there. So wait, you
ready.
guys themed. So then, Mark, what do you got on your end?
Brother, it's 9:00. I'm already drunk. This is Thirsty Thursday, so I've already had a martini and a few G&Ts. So I'm just drinking water out of my Go Dogs,
He's on the come down now. Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs water glass.
That's great. I'm drinking just cheap ass wine, and because
Perfect.
this movie does not deserve much more than that.
Oh.
But we'll get into it. We're gonna get into it.
He's high.
Okay. So you mentioned the blue drink. we're talking about 1999's Blue Streak, which is a movie that if you're listening to this, you probably had it on in the background on the TBS Superstation at some point in your life. Who picked this movie? Because I can't even remember which of you came up with this.
I'm sorry.
What? No, you're forgiven. But why? Why?
Okay, so to kind of tie up the loose end here, Johnny and I, throughout our 20-plus year friendship, have always had little schemes going on. So we decided we need a project, we need something, and I think this is all Johnny. This is all Johnny. He was like, podcast, because he already had a podcast. He was like, podcast. I was like, okay, what are we gonna do it on? We brainstormed. Johnny said McConaughey. I said, okay, McConaughey. And that's kind of how we got to the McConaughey podcast.
Works for me. Yeah.
Throughout our now almost 20 episodes, I keep recalling the DVD collection that I had as a young teen. I think it started out as a dozen DVDs, and now it's grown to almost 3 dozen DVDs as my memory has cleared up. But this was before I lived in rural Georgia, so it was antenna and it was DVDs. So this was one of the DVDs that we had, and so I've seen it way too many times.
Okay.
Nice.
So you want to see it one more? I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, you probably don't remember, but we hung out with a woman who was like an older generation than we were. All right. Love this woman. And she actually carried this on her person at all times. So
Christine?
I think that at all times.
Wait, she
It was
carried
in
a
her
DVD
bag.
of Blue Streak
Yes, I swear I've watched this with her 50 times.
for emergencies.
Listen, all right.
What?
Yes, man.
It's
Yes.
like hot sauce, a tampon, and Blue Streak. Like we're ready to
that
go.
was it.
Like
that was
yeah.
it. Yeah.
The big three.
So it was good.
Okay, I mean it's a harmless movie. Like it's pretty like it. Like
hold on. I've got questions about the McConaughey podcast here, but I want to delay Blue Streak for just a second. Okay, so are you guys going career like in chronological order, or are you just picking
Damn
random
right.
movies?
No.
Chronological order, and you're 20 episodes in. I want to ask you about some movies.
Oh shit.
Go.
What's the best thing about Boys on the Side?
Johnny does not like his hair in Boys on the Side.
I don't. I was not a fan at all. No.
But is there anything good about the movie? And
Philadelphia.
I've never
came
seen
out-
it before. Yeah.
So Philadelphia came out the year before, and Mary Louise Parker in Boys on the Side has AIDS. So it was kind of groundbreaking in that way. McConaughey is young and he has a Southern accent.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. What about Scorpion Spring?
Oh,
Man.
brother.
I watched Scorpion King in preparation for that one. All right.
What?
Like-
Why?
Like,
Why?
For weeks leading up to this, Mark was saying, we're watching Scorpion Spring. And I'm like, yeah, Scorpion King, let's go. All right. I was wrong. That was not the right film.
How does Scorpion King hold up? Because no one has watched that movie since 2003.
All right. You can't talk shit about The Rock. He's the highest paid actor, and he's never taken one acting class. Okay?
We can tell.
Come on. He's
He's
cooking
fun.
shit.
I mean, I like The Rock.
Yeah.
We're not going to get to Blue Streak. There's so many tangents we have to wrap up before we get.
No,
get
so
to the
Scorpion
actual movie.
Spring is an independent film, and McConaughey is in it for like 7 minutes. He took the gig sight unseen. They just offered it to him. He took it. It's worth watching the 7 minutes on YouTube. I'll say
Okay.
that.
And then my last question, then we can get on with it, is do you include the one episode of Unsolved Mysteries that he was in, or do you just
Fuck
do
yeah,
movies?
we do.
Hell
Brother, that
yeah.
was our first episode. Yeah.
Hell yes.
This isn't minoring in McConaughey. This is This is setting you up for your career.
We did skip Larger Than Life with Bill Murray and the elephant because McConaughey was just god awful in that. So
Okay, so you have exceptions to the rule. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, that's all the questions I had.
Okay. Do you know what's really funny about this right now? I don't think I told you two guys this. Do you know the last? I don't think it hasn't been posted yet. The last episode we recorded. It's a McConaughey movie.
Please
And
tell me.
it just happened to work out that way. It's
Rain of Fire.
Like a week ago, we recorded Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire!
that's like 3 episodes from now for us.
I know
Great.
it's like we almost like ships in the night.
Yeah,
passing.
we're right there. Yeah.
Well, and Mark from Casual Nonsense, who Frank, your wife, has recorded with, he's going to be a guest on Rain.
Don't talk about my wife like that.
Oh!
Stop.
Oh!
No, which one did she?
My
do?
wife.
Get away from my wife! No one talk to my wife! Marriage is gonna be very magical. I didn't kill my wife! That's like, ooh, who's that fella? I bet he did kill his wife.
Careful, she's gonna come in here and yell at me. I don't want to. So wait, what did she record?
She's been a guest on our podcast a couple times. She was a guest on Casual Nonsense
Okay.
with a Mark with MARC, which
Ugh.
oh yeah, no, we don't.
What is that?
Anyway, and he's from Boston, but he's a cool guy. So
Royalty free, Mark.
yeah. No, but she was on his podcast, but he's going to be a guest on our Rain of Fire episode. So
Nice.
little
Okay.
connection there.
Okay.
It's a small world. It's a small podcast
Yes.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what you guys think of Rain of Fire, but I don't want you to spill the beans before you've dropped the episode. But
Ahead of its time, lacking.
yeah, that's kind of where we ended up with it.
That is succinct and accurate. That's very good.
Wow.
Better CGI than it needed to have at the time. I thought it looked pretty good for the most part.
Weirdly holds up. Yeah.
Yeah, some fun stuff in there. Blue Streak. We have to talk about
Blue
I'm looking
Streak.
at the timer on here, and we're like almost 50 minutes in, and we have yet to go into this movie.
I was gonna ask, do you look at your timer like with fear? Because I look at mine every 5 minutes, wondering if I forgot to hit record every time.
Johnny, I was raised Catholic. I look at everything with fear. Like there's nothing. No, you have a Zoom too, you said. So I
Yeah.
have the Zoom has the like red counter thing where it's like that is my like Bible of like as long as that's red and it's ticking, I'm good to go. We have had in the past incidents where we have not had someone record. I don't think I don't think you were involved. I think Matt.
No,
and
it was
I
me.
did-
I 100%.
Which
have not
episode?
recorded more. I don't remember which, but we totally had to use my Zoom for at least one episode.
Matt and
Yeah.
I, way back
Peter.
in the day, did an episode on In the Mouth of Madness that he did not record his half of the conversation via Zoom. So it was just like published that, whatever.
Hey, Peter,
Yeah.
you did a bad job, buddy.
I sure did. I sure did, and I felt terrible about it. Actually, I think
happens.
it wasn't that my Zoom wasn't recording, but I didn't turn on my mic,
Damn.
which is even
Oh,
worse.
that's worse.
Yeah.
Blue Streak.
I'm sorry, Frank. Go ahead, bro. Go.
Blue Streak. Thank you. I don't have anything to follow up with.
He planned the heist. Come here, gorgeous. He stole the rock. Good doggy. Where's the nearest exit? And he hid it in a safe place.
Hands up! You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
2 years later, I'm free! His hiding place is not what it used to be.
Is this really a police station? Of course.
Now, to get back to his rock,
Piece of delivery for robbery, homicide. There's two kinds of people that get through that door. People wearing handcuffs, people wearing a badge.
he'll need the ultimate disguise.
I'm a detective.
If he walks like it, How'd you get so good? If he talks like it,
You might want to buckle up.
he's gotta be
His internal affairs.
hell no, he's FBI.
I'm an officer of the law.
Full of it.
Just who the hell are you working for?
I'm a federale.
A federale?
Martin Lawrence,
Tango, El Gato, Los Pantalones.
Blue Streak,
You just told those men you got a big cat in your pants.
I had seen Blue Streak back in the day. Probably once all the way through, but I think it was on TV, so you'd see it. And like it really is kind of just like a harmless little movie. It's like it's so simple, it's so high concept. It's not funny enough to be a comedy. It's the I don't want to like get into the weeds yet with it, but basically it's like for anyone who doesn't know, just a quick plot synopsis, like a criminal I'm gonna try to do this fast, and I'm gonna get in my own way. A criminal botches a robbery and like leaves the jewels in an abandoned building. And then he gets arrested. A year later, how many years is it that he's
2? He was in for 2
years later. So 2 years later, he's in prison for 2 years. He comes out and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the abandoned building and get the diamonds, and like I'll be rich." The building is now a police precinct, and he has to pretend to be a cop to get into the building, and it's basically a criminal pretending to be a cop. That's the high concept movie. It's Martin Lawrence, who is a criminal who has to like act like a cop, and much in the vein of like Corky Romano or a lot of those like late 90s, early 2000s movies, he's like the best cop ever because he's like unorthodox in his ways. I could not believe how fast this movie flew by. I couldn't believe we were at the end when we got to it, but
Really?
yes, we'll talk about it. It did not drag. I will say that about it.
Really?
Yes, we'll talk about it. But Peter, what did you think about Blue Streak?
So I had never seen this movie before.
What? Really?
I
Did you
somehow
know?
missed this.
Did you know
Yeah.
what it was about?
No, I didn't. This movie was a black hole to me. I
blue
knew Martin
hole.
Lawrence, and that's it.
I got questions for you, man.
Sure,
Right.
Yeah.
please, yeah. My favorite fact about this movie, soundtrack certified platinum.
Yes.
Solid,
great.
solid soundtrack,
great.
solid music.
No, this is a bad movie. It's not a good movie.
Oh, come on.
Here's my favorite part of this movie is all of the people that I love in this movie that get like 3 seconds and then they're gone. I was like, holy shit, Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer for 30 seconds, maybe.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Holy shit, John Hawkes. Holy shit, Zed, Peter fucking Green from Pulp Fiction. William Forsythe. I was like, all these character actors that I love that are on screen for like 2 seconds and then just gone. So Martin Lawrence can do whatever the fuck he's doing in this movie.
Peter,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
please.
What did Ebert rate this movie?
I have no idea. Tell me.
3 out of 4 stars, brother.
No shit.
Yeah, he did.
You're gonna
like-
tell me this is a shitty movie, and
I-
Ebert's giving it 3 out
Well-
of 4?
Ebert has his blind spots. Let's
What does Siskel say?
Ebert,
Yeah.
Ebert does not write his reviews on a stone tablet. Okay. I love the man, but
As Johnny and I have recently noted, the man is dead, so we can piss on his grave if we need to. So
great. Yeah, wonderful. Good for you. Okay, so Mark and Johnny, I don't want to ask you about what you think of the movie because clearly you both really enjoy it. I will ask you, however, and this is important, and I kind of want to just get a handle on this. What do you think of the P-31?
Fuck the P-31.
I think there are a lot of problems with the P-31.
You don't like the P-31.
I don't like
No.
the P-31.
You know what? P-31 out. We're not doing it.
We want the P40.
We
Yeah.
want the P-40.
Oh, you like the P-40?
We like it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Like the
All right,
P-40.
P-40 is in. We're gonna have a P-40. Now that we've lost everyone listening,
No, everyone listening was like, I love that scene. I love that scene. P-40.
Right?
They don't explain what that is ever, right? They never like say what a P-31 or a P-40 is. Like, there's no like callback to that.
It's obviously a sidearm, but
I was gonna say service pistol. Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, no, hold on. Well, what do you mean? It's obviously a sidearm. What was that? You can't.
Well, so
Why?
we're in the South here, right? And like everything.
I didn't want to bring it there, but like now
No,
that you
we
brought
are.
it there.
We are. We're in the South.
We've
Everything
watched
is a
we've all
gun.
watched James
Okay.
Bond.
Look, I don't want to tread on you, but
You know, it is funny when I Google P-31, the very first thing that comes up is a Quora entrance that says, in the movie Blue Streak, what is the P-31?
I feel so bad for the rest of the United States. It's a gun, guys. It's a gun. Okay.
okay, it's a handgun.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's got to be.
a shitty
in-
handgun apparently.
Say the terms P-31 and P-40 are intentionally used here to catch the attention of Malone. The P-31 refers to the Smith & Wesson 5906, a semi-auto handgun of 9mm. The P-40 is a semi-automatic 40 caliber round.
Yes, I've got a 40 cal as my nightstand handgun, but
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Bigger holes.
I will say it.
Right.
I do live in the heart of New York City, but I grew up in the country firing many a gun in my life. And I kind of miss that, I gotta say. There's something
Frank,
about
I
it.
haven't shot a gun in a decade, but I own 5 guns for no reason. So that's just kind of what happens.
Bro,
down here.
let's shoot some guns. Let's do it. I'll fly to you. That's gonna be good podcasting. Just sounds of white men firing guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Streak is. I was taking my notes as I was going through it, and I was like, initially, I was like, oh, this is like cashing in on the. It's a combination of like the Rush Hour hype from the year before, a little bit of that, just the high concept nature of just like simple comedies. It's a little ahead of like I think of Undercover Brother. I think of Corky Romano a lot with this one, to the point where I actually should have gone back and looked. I guarantee you someone creative was involved in both movies, because there's too much overlap between like the person pretending to be a law enforcement agent who like the plot keeps making them the best law enforcement agent ever. That combined with Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys. I don't know. What do you guys think about where this kind of landed in terms of like comedies and just sort of like the zeitgeist of the late 90s?
Mark, I got this. I don't know much about any zeitgeist about anything. Certainly not.
But
about
you've got
much.
this.
I got this. I will say, knowing what I know now, we didn't know in 1999. But knowing what we know now, I feel like Dave Chappelle should have been the main character. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a
He was
strong
the
take.
highlight. Yeah, he was the highlight.
I could not help but want to recast that and just start over.
Well, Martin Lawrence is like, he's not a leading man. And this was in that era where they're trying to see if he can
Despite
do
him
it.
being the lead of so many movies.
But like famously, what is it? Like this and Black Knight are the two that I really remember from this time.
Big Mama's House. Big Mama's House.
He had
too.
his own sitcom.
He is Big Mama. Yeah.
Bad
you're right.
Boys. Bad Boys 2.
If
I mean,
they,
Will Smith is the lead of Bad Boys.
Wow.
I mean, when he says "believe that" and it's like that,
Poetry.
and when he does his little pizza delivery guy thing, like those are the high. If they had let him go, he would have been a good leading man in this movie.
Yo.
I think.
I watched this today. The thumbnail on Netflix is him in the pizza delivery like
Yes, it is.
costume.
Yep.
That's fucking insane.
Those teeth are wild.
Yeah.
These officers got to get their
yes.
pizza. You know, it's like
He's
what?
he's so close to being like how you'd make fun of like Asian people in the 1960s. Like it's like so close to that kind of like insanity.
Boy, that really hits on the nail on the head there. Yeah.
Yeah. Chappelle's great. I really like
Yeah.
Chappelle in this. I don't know if he would have. I get what you're saying, because like nowadays Chappelle could have carried this, but at the time I don't know if he might have been too green to sort of like
Sure. Right.
pull it
yeah.
together. But like one of the funniest lines in the movie is when he reunites with Chappelle in like the drugstore or whatever, the deli, and he's like, "Put your hands on the oodles and noodles."
Yeah.
Chappelle just in like the Chappelle fashion just screams out like chicken and beef, like he's just like has to know what brand.
Put your hands on the paper.
That's just solid joke. You know who stuck out to me though? Graham Beckel, who plays kind of the chief of police. I don't know what his actual rank is. He's the guy who like the whole movie he's just like impressed by Martin Lawrence and keeps getting him more. Dude, he's not a comedic actor. He's so funny in this because he just like blindly like it just he only sees the best in Martin Lawrence and it keeps being so funny to me. I don't know why.
He's an expert negotiator.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got this. I've seen his resume. This is going to be a cakewalk for him.
This is a walk in the park.
Objectively funny.
Ass kapow.
All right, so I learned something today. Did y'all know that this was originally scripted as a rated R movie?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Try
Makes
to
a
think
lot more
about
sense.
that. I want to know what they took out. That's what I want to know. Like,
well, was it shot as a rated R movie and then edited down to PG-13, or did they change it before that?
I think they changed it before and they brought in a new script guy to kind of retrofit it. Yeah.
So we would have seen Luke Wilson's dick.
Easily.
Do we want to see that? Like, Owen Wilson surely has the bigger dick.
Yeah, but it's all misshapen.
It's like the nose.
Like his
you gotta follow the
nose?
nose. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Is that when it comes? Jesus Christ. No,
Are you guys on Letterboxd?
No.
Oh, okay. You're not that nerdy. So do you know what Letterboxd is?
Yes.
Please tell me.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
tell me.
So my review of this movie is, at its best, this movie, when this movie is like on, it's like the comedic version of Training Day, and most of the time it's not that. But that one little segment when he goes out with Luke Wilson for the first like ride along and he's doing the detective stuff and that works so good for me. That like 15-minute stretch, I'm locked in. I was really loving the movie then. And the rest of the movie just kind of doesn't. But that was my absolute favorite part of the movie was when he is just kind of the expert in the field and he's pulling his criminal stuff and the one at the tire shop.
Yeah.
When he's talking to the guy and he's like, cut the shit out or I'm gonna put my foot and you're like that fantastic. I'm right there. If the rest of the movie was just like 3 more scenes of that and then he gets back together with his girlfriend and he gets a diamond, like, because you don't see the girlfriend ever again. I have no idea why these women were cast in this movie.
Dude,
well, not.
I
she
want
was
to
done
talk
with
about
his
this.
ass. Oh, go.
I appreciate it.
I want to talk about that this movie like pretends it has female characters. You in my mind watch like the movie started and he like gets out of jail and he goes back to his girlfriend's house and I was trying to remember. It's been like 20 years. I was like trying to remember like what happens in it. I remember the end with the border. I remember that. I remember he's got to get the diamond out of the vent or whatever the fuck. Which I don't know how they remade the whole building without noticing the diamond, but whatever. But he shows up at her house. Octavia Spencer is the like trick girl, and then he has his real girlfriend. And I was like, oh, is this like the love interest of this movie? No. Mm-hmm. And then later, like 2 or 3 scenes later, he's in the police precinct, and there is like a woman who's like appalled by his unorthodox policing.
A public defender, yeah.
A public defender. And I was like, oh, is this the love interest of this movie? No.
Nope.
It's just a woman in a scene. Like, there's no... The movie just, like, it just checks the box to, like, legally have women in it. It does not... I could not believe that there is not a, like, shoehorned love story in this movie.
Yeah, it's the Bechdel test from 1999 where it's like you have to have 3 women on screen that have lines and that's it. Like,
yeah,
which not every movie needs women. That's fine, but this one was like, oh, so he's not getting back together with his girlfriend after prison. He's gonna fall in love down the line, but it shows that like that's what he's in. It's like, okay, cool, we're setting up for. Nope, not at all. Just boom, we're gonna have a shootout and international technicalities about the border of Mexico. That's what we're really interested in here.
So my film paper is that the rated R version has Luke Wilson and Octavia Spencer, and there's penetration.
There we go.
Full penetration.
Full
All right.
penetration.
Because that's what's missing from most Hollywood movies.
Just like you get Dolph Lundgren in there
Yes.
solving
So
crimes.
he's pretending to be a police officer. He's going out solving crimes, back and forth for about an hour and 34 minutes, and then the movie just sort of ends.
Well, it's
Fucking
like
A, Frank.
Octavia Spencer.
One of the best scenes ever.
Octavia Spencer, younger actress, trying to make her name, just get out there in the world. She gets
and
paid
they
a little
fat
extra.
shame
It's
her
like,
for
yeah.
45 seconds. Yeah,
Speaking of Octavia Spencer, I'm pretty sure she was in Boys on the Side as a nurse for 5 seconds.
I
and
feel
that was-
like Octavia Spencer played a nurse for 15 years before she became like a
in Boys on the
full-fledged
Side, that was her first on-screen Hollywood
Really?
camera experience. Yeah, listen to our Boys on the Side episode if you want. But
Okay, stay in your lane. We're on our show now.
I brought up her IMDb. You might be thinking of A Time to Kill. That's her first listed credit here.
oh, there you go. Time to go.
Whoa. Yep.
Time to go.
But what is wild is that in the same year as she released Blue Streak, she had, holy shit, she had a lot of movies. She had Never Been Kissed, American Virgin, Being John Malkovich, Blue Streak, and like 6 episodes of television. Oh, she
Octavia
played
Spencer's in Being John Malkovich?
She is.
Man, I got to rewatch
Wow.
that one.
If you
She
only have 5
is-
seconds of screen time, you can do like 1,000
she
movies.
is Woman in Elevator.
That's right, Johnny.
Octavia L. Spencer, Woman in Elevator. Yeah.
Peter, you started this thing out saying that this was a bad movie. You know, I said this was one of the DVDs we had growing up, and I watched it a lot. I loved it. And in this rewatch, I enjoyed some of the funny lines, but there were fewer funny lines than I remember.
Okay.
So if I'm being honest, like, you know, without the nostalgia, I'm kind of on board with you, Peter. Just like not so great, but like
What jumps out at you, funny wise?
So Luke Wilson saying he's high, that stands out to me, and the tire or rim store scene.
I thought you were going to say rim job scene.
Yeah, well, you know, haven't done
rated R
It's a
version,
living.
Right. Yeah.
but where Martin Lawrence says you got to stop eating cold cuts because it's seeping. It's coming out of your pores.
That was
That
good. Yeah.
that's always stood out to me.
Very 1999. But yes, it did land.
When they're at the border and Martin Lawrence says, "Yeah, I'm a federale." You know, the red, the white, and then he has to look back at the flag and the green.
Green. Yeah.
That was good.
So those are the
Yeah.
things that stood out to me. But like in my memory, this was like every 3 minutes there was just a banger. And now it's like 6 throughout the whole movie.
The one that got me this time was, it's not even, I don't even think it's funny, but I laughed so hard, was one of the first Luke Wilson scenes. Like early on, he's like just like the newbie, and he's like taking someone's statement, and he's asking them questions, and one of his questions is, do you have a last name? Just like, I don't know. It's so played so serious, and Luke Wilson's doing his like sincerity. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but that is very good.
So there's a couple of things I want to flag. This was set up to be, not set up, but there was a sequel planned for this. Did you guys read about this?
Yeah.
Yep.
We all read about this. Did you read about what the movie that was supposed to be the sequel became?
Bad Company.
Bad Company. Show of hands. Who has seen Bad Company?
Nope.
I don't know what it is.
Do you know who was in Bad Company?
Holy shit! I just looked it up.
This is the most oil and water pairing you can imagine.
I can't believe this movie exists. Now I need to
It
watch
is-
this movie.
Sir Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
and Chris Rock.
Directed by
Brett Ratner.
Joel Schumacher.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I've seen this movie. I know this movie. I've seen
This
it.
is a bad. Like, Blue Streak is a
What?
better movie than this, objectively. Yes, it's something about spies and like
Yep.
Chris Rock is like a
All right. So Chris Ross, all right. His character's brother is a great spy, ends up dying, so they recruit Chris Rock to pretend to be the brother because there's a drug setup. And
So it's the plot of Avatar.
Here's what it says on IMDb.
But
when
it
a
has Kerry
CIA
Washington.
agent is killed during a nuclear arms purchase, his partner Oakes, Sir Anthony Hopkins, recruits his twin brother, Jake Hayes, Chris Rock, who had no idea he even had a twin brother, let alone that he worked for the CIA. Jake, a.k.a. Michael Turner, has 9 days to fill his brother's place. However, the enemy terrorists learn of his secret identity and kidnap his girlfriend/fiancée, and he must rescue her and save New York City from an imminent nuclear terrorist act. I need
can't
to see
remember
this
any
movie.
of that. There's something about like Chris Rock as like the non-agent brother is like a like I don't know what the role. He's the guy who on the street he's got the cards and he's flipping them on like where's the thing under the card. Like he's like that
Oh,
guy.
like
He's like,
three
where's the
card
queen?
Monty? Yeah.
Yeah, he's what is that job? Like what is
hustler?
that? It's not like a hustler kind of guy. He's like just like kind
Yeah.
of that. And then later in the movie, he like is also like a mathematician genius that can memorize numbers. It's one of the worst things you can watch. And like Anthony Hopkins is like falling asleep in that movie. But yes, that was the original script for Blue Streak 2, which was the police precinct guys go down to Mexico to get what's his name? Miles.
Mm-hmm.
What's his fucking character name?
Yeah,
Logan.
Miles. Yeah.
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah.
Miles Logan.
Miles. Yep.
Miles
That's
Logan.
right.
So it like that was the plan, and then I guess they retrofitted it into some crap sequel. But
I want to ask a question about
please.
construction.
Okay.
What?
I don't know about Frank, your proclivities and expertise. Johnny, maybe you can help.
Not likely.
Are water pipes just like, do they just run through the HVAC vents? Is that where they
Yes.
live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Water?
for sure. For air and
What the
water flow through the same pipes. For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well,
You
because
bring
they
up a
say
good
that
point.
the hot water pipes flooded the vents. The hot water pipes flooded the vents. They didn't flood
don't
the
know.
building. They flooded the vents and only the vents.
The like loop-de-loops this movie has to go through to keep Martin Lawrence from picking up a fucking rock is
Yeah.
insane. Like how much they need to do. The whole movie is just like what Peter was saying earlier, where when he goes on the ride along with Luke Wilson, that is the closest the movie comes to like fulfilling the premise, which is like you want a guy who's like a criminal who turns out to be a really good cop because he's a criminal. And that's like the fun of the movie. And it's like 15 minutes in the middle, and the rest of the movie is like obsessed with this plot and figuring out who is like how to get him closer, but you can't get him too close, and then the diamond falls into the drug thing.
Yeah.
And like it's just like you get to the end and there's this big drug bust with a character you've never met before who's the bad guy from Home Alone 3. Like what are you going to do with that? Like it's just, and I think he's the bad guy in Behind Enemy Lines. That's the other movie.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He is, right? A
Good
movie
movie.
that I think it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I haven't rewatched it because I know it's not good, but
With Owen Wilson, right?
with Owen Wilson, yeah.
Yeah.
go.
So this
Full
this
circle.
man has fought both Wilsons and lived.
And the movie starts out with a heist, and I love a good heist movie. So like it lays the groundwork for like, hey, this might be like an Ocean's, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Well, it has, yeah. The credits, I think the credits are trying to thread the needle between like a high concept comedy and Bad Boys, because it's like very late 90s, very like cheeky, and also like very like there's a little like cyber in there too, and something. The whole opening's pretty solid. They introduced Martin Lawrence, who's like a pretty capable criminal. I like his crew, everything like that. I cannot believe John Hawkes died. I mean, I get for 99 it makes sense, but like for where he's gone in his career, it's crazy how fast he dies. Has anyone been watching,
knowing where John Hawkes goes to watch him die
know.
like 5 minutes into this movie, I'm like, what are you doing?
which is effective because he is likable and like it is a good death, and like I also just like I miss when a stuntman would fall off a fucking building. Like, it was not a dummy. Like, it was just a guy who landed on a giant marshmallow on the street. Like, it was it was fun. But yeah, has anyone been watching speaking of McConaughey, True Detective season, what are we at, 4 now? Night Country?
No.
John Hawkes is in it. It's I'm excited where it's going. A lot of people are like mixed on it, but it's the main like creative influence on it is like John Carpenter's The Thing. So I'm actually kind of excited about like a different direction for True Detective.
Of course, it's got Jodie Foster from Contact.
Jodie Foster's crushing it, and John Hawkes is in it, and then a couple other people. I think who's the first Doctor Who from like the 2000s, the new run?
David Tennant?
No,
Chris
Eccleston. Chris Eccleston. Yeah, he's in it, and he does like a southern accent, and it's like pretty effective.
I want to take a step back, if you don't mind, guys. I know that no one took this as seriously as I did, but go with me for a second. Watching the intro to this movie, we were just referencing the heist and all of that. I really, as an adult, as someone who has done DIY projects, I was very unhappy with how this heist was set up. We started by grinding off the screws of the vent. Those are very simple to screw on and off with a drill. It would have made much more sense at the time. And so then we go down whatever the hell shaft they go through and enter into another vent. This one is on hinges. So we just push it and it swings out. I have worked on a number of houses and a number of vents and never once had one on hinges.
I had that thought. I was like, I've never seen a vent that had hinges on it.
I just, and I don't know anything about busting coated locks, but I wasn't buying that shit. Not for a second. Come on.
So bringing the wrong tools to the job, basically.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mark. Just jogging my memory. Okay. You know what they shot across the street? A fucking shark harpoon. That's what that was.
What is a shark harpoon?
The like zip line thing?
Yes.
The like
And
Dark
what the fuck
Knight
was that?
opening scene thing?
I did have that thought. I was like, oh.
And then it landed into an air vent. It anchored itself into an air vent, which was surely on hinges, right?
And Martin Lawrence whips out his handy-tandy multi-tool and like zips the line right there so he can swing in. I don't know, guys. We need to rewrite this. We're remaking it. You guys have the wit, and I have the I'll fucking do anything. Let's go.
Okay. I'm scared, but I'm also intrigued.
And I'll just watch. Yeah.
This will be prime. So my first podcast that Frank came on was called Fix a Flick, and we used to invite people on to pitch us how they would fix a movie. And this is prime for that because there's enough meat on the bone there that it's like, okay, there's a core. We can see the core.
Yes.
How would you actually fix it? How would you make it better?
Dude, yeah. It's a good concept. A criminal who has to pretend to be a cop in front of cops and like ends up being a great cop. Like that's a movie. Like it makes perfect sense. Like this is not quite that movie. Like this is perfectly like, again, I keep using the word like inoffensive because like it just like washes over you. I could not believe we were at the end when we were. Not in terms of like the movie was like fast in its runtime. Just the fact that I'm like, I can't believe we got through all the plot this movie thought it had and we're at the end. Like it's insane. But like it's a good idea. Like I want to see the right version of this film. I don't even know what it would be. I don't even know who you cast in because it's not Martin Lawrence. I think you need someone who's like a mean person who has to be a nice guy kind of vibe. Like you wouldn't do this. It wouldn't work for this exact like 1-to-1, but like something more in terms of like if you go the mobster route, like a James Gandolfini who has to pretend to be a cop kind of thing. Who has to like kind of Mickey Blue Eyes it. You have to do a little bit of like play against type to some degree. Martin Lawrence is just doing he's playing Martin Lawrence the whole movie. He doesn't have to like rub against the grain of what he can do. Will Smith too could have done a better job.
Oh,
Do you
Will
remember
Smith
Get-
would actually be solid. Yeah.
What about Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell? Like, could you see like
I see where you're
them
going.
joining this movie
Kevin
with
Hart-
a little bit of a rewrite?
If you play Kevin Hart, where it's so you have two Kevin Harts. You've got the like that person. Like, is that the criminal, and then the cop is like a suave performance he's doing, or is the criminal like a suave, cold character, and then he has to pretend to be sort of like Clark Kentian in his copism? I don't know. What would you do there? That's the weirdest question I've ever asked another man.
I'm not sure what you asked.
I'm asking. Kevin Hart has his shtick. We all know his shtick and like what he's good at. But for this this movie, for Blue Streak to work, you have to have like the shtick, and you have to play against type. You have to be two characters, basically. Which one's which? What, like, is the cop the shtick or is the criminal? And then like, what do you do there?
I think you take Kevin Hart's character from Get Hard, which was a family man, just trying to be an entrepreneur type thing. So you'd have
like earnest, yeah.
So you have an earnest criminal instead of the Martin Lawrence character, who did seem to be earnest, and then they would make him deliver pizzas with fake teeth and weird. I don't even know what kind of hair. I don't know how to describe the hair that he had.
It looked like cotton candy dipped in printer ink.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it was black hair, but I don't think that it was not like a particular style of any kind of African American, cultural hair. It was just like, what is this? It was a joke, So yeah, to have Kevin Hart play an earnest character, and he has to come out of a shell to be a little weird, to be a little off kilter, to be charismatic, to get people on his side. I think that would work. And then you have a little funny, Luke Wilson was funny, but he was like a dumb blonde funny. But if you had but if you had Will Ferrell, who's just like, he's the jokester, he's the weird character, that I think that would work.
You know what movie I feel like we're dangerously close to describing is The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. You guys have said the word earnest at least 9 times. Am I the only one thinking that Jim Varney could have done this role also?
Oh.
Jim Varney can do anything he sets his mind to.
Damn right.
He could play Rick Blaine in Casablanca. There's no limit to this man.
Just imagine this movie with Ernest, all right? Ernest is that guy.
He could have been the drug kingpin.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
That would have been good. I know we mentioned Luke Wilson. I do think he does what the movie's asking of him. Yeah. He's a little bit like he's kind of like the guy who has no confidence, who I don't know why, but he figures it all out in the end. I don't know how he figures it out, but this is the annoying thing with this movie. Where like it does the things the movie needs to do at the moment it needs to do them, but it's never earned. Like Luke Wilson realizing who Martin Lawrence is at the end is what goes there. But I don't know for the life of me how he figured it out.
You're almost waiting for like the reveal that he's actually internal affairs, and like or something crazy like that.
Could have been fun, but I like Luke Wilson being a guy who has no confidence because he's a rookie, but is actually has great instincts, but has never sort of like had anyone tell him to listen to them. Like, I think Luke Wilson's a solid character in this, like start to finish.
Yeah, it does start out with him. He doesn't know where the stripe on his like ID card is, so he can't.
Yeah,
he can't swipe in to his own office, and then it ends with him figuring out, I'm going to think like a criminal.
He has no confidence, but his if he was to have confidence and just listen to himself, he would like succeed hard and fast. Like you can do something interesting with that if you had Martin Lawrence be someone who's always like, if he was a character who's always like questioning himself or something. Like they're like the movie, like every movie has one relationship that's like the A relationship, and this movie's Luke Wilson and Martin Lawrence, but they don't really like have a reason to be learning from each other in any meaningful way. Like I think, and it should be, because like Luke Wilson's character is like built to be something that you can play off of in an interesting way.
No, I agree. There is no penetration in that relationship.
Jesus Christ.
The only way this would be more of a Luke Wilson role, though, is if he had just like a touch of depression. Like it's like right there.
I mean, it's close. I think if the movie, again, like there's like, as simple as it is, there's no fat on this movie. There's like no, you cannot cut this movie down more. Like, it is so simple. But like, do you see anyone's home the whole movie? Do you see anyone's home at any point?
The girlfriend,
who's not a character. She's a plot device.
Yeah.
Okay. You bring up a good point. How many days was this shot over?
Dude, okay, I thought about this.
Right?
I feel like it was shot over like 3 weeks. Like it feels so quick, but there are some stunts that are.
Whoa, no. I mean, like, how many days go by in the course of this movie?
The movie? Yeah.
It could have been like 3 days, man. Like,
I can't. This is
there
like
are no nights.
This is like Star Wars: A New Hope. You have no idea how much time passes. There are no nights. That's so funny. Shit, there are no nights. It's the opening scene is at night, and the rest of the movie is in the middle of the afafternoon.
It's got to be at least 2 days. To your point. Like there has got to be at least one overnight.
Well, you got to go. You have to rewatch it and be like, when do people's clothes change? Like that's really all you got. And then you're like, okay, well, it's 4 days because 4 outfits, I guess.
I think Martin Lawrence's suit stays the same the whole movie, though.
I do like his like, because that's what you kind of do. He's like a cop who has a little more drip, I guess. Like he's just like I want this to be Will Smith. I don't want to like really go bad boys with it, but like I want it to be like Martin Lawrence is not someone you idolize like in any capacity. Like it's
really not
crazy that they're all like, I mean, again, like Corky Romano. Like that's all I keep thinking of with this movie, which is like, you want this to be someone who's a charismatic criminal.
You know Corky Romano way too well.
It's the same movie. It's the same fucking thing. He's a mobster who pretends to be an FBI agent. It's the same movie, just like, and he keeps being like the best guy on the force kind of thing. I cannot believe these two movies. Like, there's some producer has one like idea in his head, and he made 2 movies out of it. And I'm sure he's on both of these credits. I have to look it up.
You know who I was gonna suggest, and I was like, oh yeah, he did make this movie too. Is Tracy Morgan? The 2010 movie Cop Out with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan.
It needs to be someone who's like not just funny. It needs to be someone who can like convince cops to be like I almost want it to be like, not to go full like mobster with it again, but like imagine like De Niro doing this, where
so
he's
you're thinking
like he
Denzel.
goes.
You're thinking like
Denzel, like so, like I think it needs to be like, and again, like it's a hard thing to make this like a laugh out loud comedy concept because it's gonna water down like the themes of what you're playing with a little bit.
I don't want to bring this full circle, but is there a chance? And just
Dolph Lundgren. I know. I was thinking the same thing.
No. The Rock. The Rock
is interesting.
Crush this.
Yes. Yes.
The only thing that holding it back is if you don't nail him as a like criminal in the beginning, because he's like he's the whitest teeth. Like he's a very like nice guy. Like, but what do you
like
do with
diamond
him?
thief? Like it makes sense. And this is one of like the 3 roles that The Rock can play. Like
right. Yes.
He's got cop, athlete,
Ballers.
soldier, and that's like it. Yeah.
Well, in Red Notice, he was like a art thief, right? So
I don't want to talk about Red Notice.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that was the best movie of the decade, but no, just kidding.
I would watch a Blue Streak featuring The Rock. I like that.
But instead of a diamond, you do
Any
art.
movie that starts with the color Red Notice, Blue Streak, Green Lantern, it's all like you cannot. Old Yeller. So
You know, if I did a quick search of The Rock's IMDb. You know, if Ludacris really wanted to get into acting, this would be the lowest stakes opportunity to do a remake of. I would watch Ludacris star because
you could do it, but it's
an
like
interesting one.
But that's like shooting right across the bow. Like it's pretty the thing with The Rock that's interesting is like what you should really do with this kind of thing is like if Martin Lawrence was like a really bad guy in the beginning, and like Martin Lawrence betrayed Zed, the guy from The Mask. I don't know who the fucking the bad guy.
Peter Green.
Peter Green. If Martin Lawrence was like the villain of the first scene, and then like is a bad guy, and through the course of pretending to be a cop, inadvertently unlocks his like inner good guy, then that's interesting. Like if you were to have The Rock in this, and you have The Rock like execute someone in the first scene and betray somebody,
Right,
and then like and then you have to basically, it's not unlike like Robin Williams in Hook, where you like start him as like a non-Robin Williams character, and you have to like the whole 2 hours is like him getting back to being Robin Williams-y,
Right.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, Johnny, you brought this up, so let me ask, who would, like, which character would The Rock be? Would he be the Luke Wilson character?
No.
No, he'd be
he-
Miles.
He'd be Martin Lawrence. Yeah.
Well,
I
okay.
see him as the Luke Wilson character.
Oh, that's interesting.
I see him as
No.
the straight man, and then you've got, Kevin Hart or like somebody else as Miles.
I could get on board with that.
I think that's the only option, because if you think about it, The Rock would never fit inside of a vent. Okay? We'd have to rewrite the whole fucking thing.
It'd have to be an art heist and not a diamond heist. Yeah.
But see, that's screenwriting, where you have The Rock try to fit an event and can't, and he has to come up with an alternative to the obstacle that he's come across. He
Okay,
needs
come
to
on, go.
find his. The Rock needs to go get his like old criminal buddy Kevin Hart to go into the vent. You know who would kind of
So
crush?
you would have Kevin Hart as the Dave Chappelle character, and he's got to like
if The
trick
Rock
him
is
into
in
the
this,
vent. Yeah.
we wouldn't even get to choose. The Rock would decide that for us. Like Kevin Hart would just be brought in. It would be
Absolutely.
But can we keep Dave Chappelle, please?
I want to keep Dave. Dave Chappelle can be the like drug lord.
He could be
guy.
Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou. Sure.
That'd be fun.
I mean, Dave Chappelle's just like solid in this. It's crazy
Yes.
how much his voice has changed and his mannerisms has changed since this came out. Like he's so like
he's put on so much muscle.
muscle
weirdly,
and
Chappelle,
like,
and he's just like everything is way slower. Nothing is
Yeah.
high energy for Chappelle anymore.
he always wears a flight suit. I don't know what he's doing.
Like coveralls. Yeah.
Do you know who would be a fun alternative to? I like this. This just came up for me. Instead of Luke Wilson, you know who would be kind of interesting to watch them play the Luke Wilson part is Jane Lynch.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I feel like she'd have a lot of fun.
She would be a great chief.
The Chief too. Honestly, Jane Lynch in any role of this movie other than Martin Lawrence's would be fun.
Got to tweak her nipples.
Yeah, she does a little hot dog move from
just-
role
sorry.
models.
I was thinking Arrested Development.
Who is she? Oh fuck! I forgot she was in that.
Yeah.
Wait, what is her? Faith is a fact.
Yeah. No,
Brilliant.
faith is a facet.
I'm going to jail because you don't know what a blooper reel is. Looking through my notes, I've got like the only other thing I wrote down is Mocha Joe in all caps, which is
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Because I was going to bring that
Yeah.
up. It's like, I know him from Larry, Mocha Joe, and what was the other one? Help me.
What else? I couldn't think of it because I couldn't even think of Mocha Joe for a while. I was like, I know this guy from something.
I have no
Johnny's
idea who we're
the
talking about.
bonded warehouse truck driver.
Oh, yeah.
Who is that?
It's,
Severio Guerrera.
That's who it
is
is.
the actor's name.
There's one other thing that stood out to me.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, Mocha Joe.
Yeah.
That's it.
I hope I'm saying his name close to right.
He's going to call in. He's not going to be happy about this.
He is welcome to come on.
Guys, the phones are lighting up. Like, I have to.
So the last note that I had is for the very end of this movie. So he can just never come back to the United States, right? He has no passport.
He's a federale, so he's fine.
Okay. It's a great point. I thought the same thing. He's just running his ass through Mexico, and no one's like, "Hey, we got to stop this guy."
He's got a big ass diamond in Tijuana.
TJ.
Listen, I bet he's gonna have a great night, and he's gonna wake up with no kidneys. Like,
That's right.
It's about to be a fantastic 24 hours for this dude, and that's about it.
Donkey shows are never a good start. Okay, never.
Yeah. So but from Mexico, with that diamond, man, he can sell it. He can get himself a passport.
Well,
he can never come back to America.
Otherwise, his buddy Luke Wilson is gonna have to like tearfully arrest him. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's. Oh God.
If he shows back up to America without a diamond, what did he do wrong? What crimes did he commit?
Impersonating an officers. We all thought that immediately.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was cool with that.
That's it.
Well, what is that? Like a year? 3 years in prison?
Come on.
Come on.
You're the
it's like
attorney.
a fine.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a tutorial.
Yeah, right.
And the only other note I wrote down here was truck magnet, which was the one at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah. I sat up. I'm like, oh, all right, we got a movie. Like, I was like, all right, little life in this. Because, dude, the end is crazy.
The end is nuts.
How does Dave Chappelle and the bad guy end up in the delivery car on the Mexican border while they're in the drug deal? Did they explain that? Was there like a line about like, oh, they know he's going here? Like, how the fuck did they end up in the car?
Well, so he kicks Dave Chappelle out of the precinct, saying, I'll get you your money or whatever. So the idea, I guess, is that Dave Chappelle followed him to the airport with the art investigation and then followed him from the airport, to the bonded warehouse. And that's where he got in.
The other guy was following Dave Chappelle. Like, I don't know how. Like, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, come on. It makes sense. This movie is airtight.
It adds up. It adds up.
Airtight.
It's a whole streak of blue.
Yeah.
Any other things we want to touch on before we?
You brought up the truck magnet.
Yes.
Again, I'm not a physicist. I've never built a truck.
Don't ruin the truck magnet for me.
I just want to know. All right, if let's suppose that magnet could pull the truck from the box. All right, the box is the lightest part of the truck. Wouldn't it just rip off the fucking truck?
The top, yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, absolutely. That
then where do
magnet
you
can pick up the weight of the truck, but that roof is just one panel
Right.
of
Thank
aluminum
you.
or whatever. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it should be on the
cab.
The
the
cab.
cab.
Yeah, and everyone fucking knows that aluminum
Clearly,
is
I
not
live in New York
magnetic.
City.
No, the roof needs to be reinforced so that it can be picked up. But otherwise, it's just like a sheet of skin that you're just ripping off. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, but like, that's what the scene has to be. The scene has to be the magnet, hitting the main part of the truck. Like that's what goes there. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. This is the one plot hole, the one thing that didn't make sense to me. The rest.
This
of it
is your
was,
line. This is your line.
Yeah, the rest of it was airtight, made sense. Yeah, and I heard the soundtrack went platinum, so I mean,
Platinum.
I can't.
You've got
It's
Jay-Z.
solid.
You've got other artists.
We've already talked about it. I'm just calling back to it.
Is there anything else anyone wants to touch on with Blue Streak before we Because this is, guys, this is the last time anyone's going to talk about Blue Streak in America.
Here's a topic of discussion that I wanted to bring up really quickly. Did you go through the director's credits? Have we talked about this yet?
No.
No, what did he do?
Okay.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3.
Yeah.
In 1991, he did Back to the Future, The Ride.
Oh,
The fuck is that?
wait, the Universal Studios, right?
The Universal Studios
So like
ride.
wrote the script for that.
Dude, that's
it
a
says he directed
sick-
it. Yeah.
You can
Directed it.
YouTube the clips from that. It's actually really good.
His very first film was Encino Man, then the remake of Miracle on 34th Street, Flubber with Robin Williams, Blue Streak.
Hell yeah.
Wait. He made Encino Man and the David Attenborough. No, Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough. Yeah.
Those are both solid movies. Solid.
They
90s
are.
movies.
And if I remember enjoying Flubber as a child.
I was going to say, Flubber, guys. Come on. Fucking Flubber.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I have not revisited Flubber, and I think I'm right, and you're all wrong.
The last movie he directed was in 2007. It was a Cedric the Entertainer vehicle featuring Lucy Liu called Codename: The Cleaner. I've never heard of this film.
Never.
Sounds legit.
But yeah, no, he has not directed since 2007. Is he still alive? Says he is.
He got blacklisted when he blew Harvey Weinstein in a hotel pool.
I
so.
guess so.
I'm sorry,
Now
y'all
we
need to
can't-
cut that.
we
Please
can't-
do
the
not
whole-
include that.
The whole episode is null and void now. We made it. We almost made it to the end. I'm gonna like double it. I'm gonna play it twice. Man, Encino Man's great. Have we done a podcast on Encino Man? Why do I feel like we've talked about it recently? Or maybe I just watched it recently.
I don't know.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, he is a weird filmography. It says he's retired now. The other two films that I did not mention were American Outlaws, featuring Colin Farrell and Scott Conn. Yep. And The Man in 2005, which is Samuel L. Jackson. And if anybody can guess who co-stars in this movie, I will give you $100 right now.
Sandra
The
Bullock.
Rock.
Wait. Is this Sandra Bullock?
No,
Is it a white woman?
it's a white man.
Eugene Levy.
Damn, I owe Frank $100.
That gave it away. I would not have. If you didn't say that, I wouldn't have gotten it. I was going to like Jennifer Coolidge places. Guys, this was actually really fun. I was kind of like, after watching the movie earlier today and like having a headache linger for a couple of hours afterwards, I was kind of nervous about this, but like I had such a blast talking to you guys. A real treat having you on. I hope you had a really good time.
Hell yeah.
Peter, you were fine. Not your best work, but honestly,
That's fair.
Peter, I
no,
love
but
you.
like, guys, thank you.
I've been better.
so much. And like, where can people check out Mastering McConaughey? Where can people find you?
I mean, anywhere you find podcasts, Mastering McConaughey. We're on TikTok and Instagram, Mastering Pod.
Where are you? So as of today's recording, because I don't know when this episode is going to drop. I don't know where you are with yours. Because you've been going chronologically in McConaughey's career. Where are you actually as far as what you've recorded?
So Wedding
Like what-
Planner
like
is
what
about
year?
to drop here
Nice.
around Valentine's Day. Then we're going to do 13 Conversations About One Thing,
Okay.
which has Alan Arca and John Turturro. Never heard of the movie, but and then Frailty, which is a horror film directed by Bill Paxton. It was his directorial debut, and it's apparently good. I mean, the reviews I've seen say that it's an ignored horror film, and it's good. So,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
If I may, how are you going to handle the massive speed bump that is Tiptoes?
All right, so we have a rom-com bracket. So
Oh, wait, Peter, do you know what this is?
Oh, we
Okay,
did an
okay,
episode
okay.
on it. Yeah.
Okay, Mark, continue.
yeah, so we've got a rom-com bracket where I've ranked all of his 8 rom-com appearances. One of them, Frank, I don't want to call her your wife because I know you're sensitive about that.
I don't even call her that, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Your girlfriend was on. She did Sex and the City episode with us recently.
Yeah.
We had to tack that on as the 8th like rom-com appearance because he's only been on 7. McConaughey's only done 7 like rom-com things. But we've ranked them by the tomato meter ratings, and so we're kind of trying to make it a fun experience to do all of these rom-coms. I haven't talked to Johnny about this exactly, but I'm pretty sure that Tiptoes is going to be at the very bottom.
It's going to be
it's going to be the 9th one. Yeah.
Dude, that's an upset waiting to happen. You don't know.
Have you both seen it?
No.
Not
Neither
at
of
all.
us.
Oh, you bastards. It's going to be so bad. You have no idea.
I love Kate. What's her name?
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
I love Kate Beckinsale.
She does some work.
She's so hot. I
Yes.
love Gary Oldman.
Gary
He's
Oldman
a
from the waist up. Yeah. he's
great
great
actor.
too.
From the waist up, he says.
Yep. You'll see.
Peter
I don't
Dinklage
wanna
makes some
I'm not gonna
choices in this movie.
spoil it. Yeah. It's something special. I cannot wait to tune into you guys doing that one because it's pretty soon.
Yep, it's coming up.
Guys, thank you so much. This was a treat. I hope you had a really good time.
Thanks for having us on.
I had a ball, man. Thanks so much
Right.
for having us.
All right. I don't know. Fuck you. I got nothing. I don't know how to
Hey,
say-
fuck you too, man.
That ends.
Yeah.
Sort of clip.